Okay guys, so we're on the first one, and I had a guy come in the comments, big shout out to all you guys that comment, asking me, why do I start in the middle? And it ain't like that on every property, but on some it is. So the reason I start in the middle, y'all, especially when it's wet, and this is all, I got a disclaimer. So what I like what I do, you see those chairs up there? I don't know if y'all can see them or not. But I focus on those chairs and I get my angle just like I want it. And then I make my center line through there. And then what I do is, instead of just turning around and coming back and doing and back and forth, what I do is I go up this way, blowing the grass that way. Then I turn around and come back down, blowing the grass that way. And so then it makes a divide in the yard. So you see, as I get on this way, we're not got no clumps or nothing in the middle, and a lot of grass. You're basically bagging the grass. So then once I do that, so I go up this way, back down that way, and blowing it that way, that way, that way, that way, back and forth, right? And then once I get to the edge like that, you see all the trash, leaves, and just grass. Then what I do is I start working it toward the driveway and up over there toward those pine trees. And then right here, what I do is I work it this way, and I work it down the hill all the way to this wood line right here. Now, I'm not saying that that's the right way to do things or whatever. I'm just saying, you look how nice and neat it looks when it's wet. See, like, normally if you just go up in here and go back and forth, you're gonna have leaves everywhere. You're gonna have, not clumps. This ain't really wet enough to clump, but you're gonna have a lot of grass, and I like to pretty much vacuum the yard as I'm mowing it. So you're basically bagging this, because if you put a bag without having to empty the bagger. Now when you get down here around the mailbox and all, you see my angle right there. You got to kind of be a little bit sassy with where you're blowing everything, because you don't want to blow stuff all over. This mower will cover that whole bed right there, mailbox and all. And then you got to make your outline. So the first thing I do when I get here is I go up this way, and then I get on the driveway, and I come down the driveway, and then I come back in right here, and then I come down the roadside blowing everything this way. And then I do it again. And then once I get 2 passes right here, then what I do is I just start working the middle out. I come up this way. I want to blow everything to that side. Now you got to get a little sassy right here. Let me pull it away from this a little bit more, right? And I will never stop in the middle of the yard. I keep on going to the end to make my turn. Get some of the weight out of the grass. So you pick the deck up a little bit. Come in right here, pick it up just a little bit. Get some of the track. Yeah, I got my foot on the pedal here, so I'm not cutting it final cut. I just want to get some of the stuff so I can blow it that way. Alright? Back across. Now on every job you're not going to have to do this. And now you're back in the game. See? Now I go back up the center here. I don't be turning all crazy in here. gotta blow it to. He blows it over here no matter what. And not no grass piled up nowhere. Back up. Now I want to move all this stuff that way. So I come down to the bottom. I get right on the edge here. Driveway don't hardly even need blowing off. I mean, if I make a big mess with the mower, then I'm making it harder on my guy. I don't want my guy to have to work that hard. I want him to be able to only work hard when he has to. Up a little bit, drop the deck back down. Now let's get it. So what I tell my guy, when you blow all this up that way and over. Don't blow it into here. So right here, what I do is the same type thing. Is I'm going to go straight down the middle here, and I'm going to take this half that way toward the wood line, and this half that way down the hill. So, yeah.